Miracle Boy Boxing. I am your host, Jose Cruz. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're going back to 2012 here in this fight. With this fight right here, because we're going to talk about a fight that took place about 11 years ago, on November 2012. I'll never forget it. Between two top welterweights at the time, Andre Berto versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero. And I remember that fight quite well. Both guys were in their prime. They were two top welterweights, like I said, and they delivered a fight that no one will never forget. It was a tremendous scrap, tremendous war. Both guys trading heavy leather. Guerrero was able to close both of Berto's eyes shut, swollen shut. It was a fight. It was a fight. I did not expect that fight to be as good as it was, and man, it was a war. Guerrero overwhelmed, just jumped right on Berto, man, and just overwhelmed him with repeated left hands and just, the iron chin of Guerrero just standing right in the pocket and also absorbing some titanic shots coming back from Berto. The uppercuts from Berto, the right hand counters, everything, up and under, right hands, shots, while Berto was on the rope fighting back. And Guerrero just eating these shots and the uppercuts, and all you can see is Guerrero's head snapping back and forth from the uppercuts, and just Berto with his eyes swollen shut, just the warrior coming out of him and just fighting back. That was a fight. Now, 11 years later, it seems that we're about to see it again. Now, we're about to see both in the ring fighting each other again, but I don't think we're going to get the same fight. I don't expect to get the same fight this time around. This is 11 years later. These guys are way over their prime. These guys, Berto hasn't fought in 5 years, getting a split decision win over Devin Alexander. Guerrero hasn't fought in 2 years, beating Victor Ortiz, who, even when he fought Ortiz was never the same. Way over his days. And in that fight with Ortiz, I even thought Ortiz won the fight. But it was nothing special. That fight was lackluster. It was nothing special. The Ortiz of old was not in there, and the Guerrero of old was not in there. Now it's 2 years later for Guerrero. And Berto and Guerrero has not seen any glory in forever. So here now, 11 years later, they're about to duke it out again. Supposed to be on the card for Benavidez Andrade. Not the pay-per-view. I don't expect it to be on the pay-per-view because the pay-per-view card is already set. Hector Garcia versus Lama Roach. Subriel Matia versus Sugar Sean Ergashev. And you got Jamal Charlo versus Jose Benavidez Jr. That's the card. That's the undercard. Not Berto versus Guerrero. Maybe 10 years ago. Yeah. That would have been a hell of a fight. That would have been a solid fight on the card. Or any card. Back then, that was a main event fight. And it was on HBO. Like I said, now it's 11 years later. And these two guys are shot. But it's Andre Berto and it's also Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Berto wants to avenge his loss 11 years ago. From 11 years ago, he took a really bad beating in that fight. As well, as good as the fight was, he took a very bad beating. Both eyes were swollen shut. And Guerrero was like I said, both guys were in their prime, and we got a slugfest. This time, I don't know what we're gonna get. I don't expect a slugfest. I don't expect half of what we got 11 years ago. I'll be surprised if it turns out to be a pretty decent fight. Both guys haven't fought in a while, so that's good. The rest is there. But Berto is 40 now. Guerrero maybe 40. I think he's 40 already. Let me check. Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Let me see. So Guerrero. Okay, I'm checking right here, guys. Robert the Ghost Guerrero. So he's, oh, look at that. Both guys are 40. Even on the age. When it comes to the mileage and wear and tear in the ring, who's been in the most wars? Berto and Ortiz. The first fight was a classic. That was a war. Both guys hit the deck twice. That was the fight of the year in 2011. And Berto with the war with Guerrero. Then Guerrero had a war with Yoshihiro Kamagai. And then, you know, of course, his war with Berto as well. So I think they're even when it comes to, you know, Berto took he had a rough fight with Soto Caras as well, Jesus Soto Caras. In the fight where he got stopped in the 12th round and shoulder came out of place. So both guys have taken some punishment in their career. Again, both guys now 40. This is 11 years later after their first savage fight. Like I said, I cannot expect to see something. I cannot expect that same savage fight from both these guys again. I don't expect anything close. Again, it's kind of, I don't know what we're going to get out of these two in the rematch because they haven't made fight, but both guys are 40. They haven't fought in a while. 11 years ago, they fought for the first time in a war. Both guys haven't not been the same in years. I don't know what we're going to get. It'll be interesting once that bell rings, but I don't know. But based on what I saw, Berto came out on the video and said he hasn't announced, but this is exclusive, and I'll be back against Robert Guerrero on the David Benavidez versus Andre card. So definitely for the prelims. It's going to be for the prelims, for the pay-per-view card. Maybe the main event for the prelims. You know, that will be passable. But both guys are 40. Both guys have had their careers. Took some punishment in their careers. World champions. You know, both guys want to, especially Berto, he want to get one more crack at Guerrero, get that revenge. He already got the revenge over Victor Ortiz. You know, Berto was able to get his revenge by stopping Ortiz in 6 rounds in the rematch. So he wants to get another rematch and avenge another loss with Guerrero. Again, I don't know what we're going to expect from Guerrero. You know, maybe Berto may beat him, maybe not. So this is the chance, this is the risk that Berto's taking. But we'll see. You know, it is what it is. Berto versus Guerrero 2 on the David Benavidez versus Andrade card, injury card, and don't know what we're gonna get out of these two. I know what we got last week. We got something 11 years ago, but that was 11 years ago. I don't know what to expect this time, but it's gonna happen based on what I've been reading, what Berto said. Andre Berto versus Robert Guerrero 2. Likely for David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade card. Prelims for sure. Gonna be I'm going with the main event on prelims. Right before the pay-per-view card. American Boy Boxing, I'm your host, Jose Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, guys. I'll try to talk to you guys about boxing right here. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.